Your reasons for listening to the show, well, those are your own. But just keep in mind that the views, information, or opinions expressed on the Tuddle Daily Podcast are solely those of the individuals involved and do not necessarily represent those of our sponsors. Yeah, it's called free speech, people. Nobody's forcing you to listen.
Get ready for your daily dose of Tuddle.
The all-time greatest intern/producer we've ever had, of course, Tuddle. Tuddle in Florida.
From the Hobo Fish Camp, it's the Tuddle Daily Podcast.
No wonder nobody likes you, Tuddle. Everything's a goddamn debate.
Chill out. Drink a 7-Up. Eat a moon pie. Quit murdering people.
Greetings and welcome to another edition of the Tuddle Daily Podcast. Hope you guys are enjoying your day so far. If you get a chance, go to my YouTube channel, youtube.com/Tuddle. My producer, Vulture, is now back. The podcast is now being uploaded to YouTube. And if you're listening to this, you're listening to it podcast format-wise. But a lot of people don't understand podcasts. You want to know who understands YouTube? Older people. If my mom can understand YouTube, then I want to reach that audience. Most of these radio guys want to go for that male or persons 25 to 54. I'm not leaving you out, ladies. That's why I brought up persons 25 to 54. But no, hell, Howard used to talk about this all the time. I want them from the cradle to the grave. So if you got any older family members that don't podcast, but they know how to use YouTube, tell them, go to youtube.com/Tuddle. Make sure they hit the subscribe button and hit that bell button, because when you hit that bell button, you're going to get alerted to anytime I go live or upload any brand new content. Going to try to do a live stream later on tonight. It's going to be 8 p.m. The first story that I wanted to get into, and this is quite interesting, because everybody talks about how TikTok is rotting everybody's brain, social media is rotting everybody's brain. You can learn stuff from social media. You got to do your own research to see if it's true or not. But this, I think, 16-year-old girl was kidnapped. And I didn't even know about this. I don't know if it didn't just pop up on for your page, the FYP section, because they do have the analytics and videos you do stop and watch, and they'll show up more on your regular page. But I didn't even know this was a thing. I guess there is a hand signal that you can give if you are in distress, or you're a victim of domestic violence and you don't want your significant other that is beating the crap out of you to know about it. It's you put your thumb in your palm, covered up by your four fingers. By the way, worst way to punch. When I was younger, I got into a fight with somebody and I had my thumbs on the inside. I broke my thumb because I thought that's how you threw a punch. No, you put the thumb at the bottom of the fingers to throw a good punch. But that, I guess, that is the universal symbol of distress. And who would have thought? Social media saved somebody's life.
This man, 61-year-old James Brick, is in police custody this morning, accused of abducting a teenager.
Everybody bitches about stereotypes, but, sometimes stereotypes are a good thing, right? I'm just being honest when I say this. If you could see the picture of this guy, he's the type of guy you'd be like, yep, that's a pedophile. That is a child abductor. That is a sexual predator. As soon as you see the picture, you'd be like, yep, guilty.
He was captured in Kentucky after his alleged 16-year-old victim made a hand gesture popularized on TikTok.
We've all seen a various and numerous amounts of different hand signals while driving. It could be a chick driving next to you that maybe thinks you're hot and she gives you the jerk-off signal, the up and down thing, or even to go further where the J-off thing, and then they put the tongue in the side of their cheek what's in there. And then you got the bird finger don't know. Like, how do you guys give the bird finger? Do you just do the middle finger, or do you give it the two balls on the side? Like the ring finger and the pointer finger, like sticking up in between the middle finger to give you the penis and the balls on the FU? Or what about the ever favorite where you take the arm and your left arm and you just do the up yours type thing? Yeah. But no, this is a true signal. And just by chance, somebody else on TikTok that had seen this and learned about sticking your finger or your thumb in your palm, covered up by 4 fingers, up and down twice, is, hey, I need help. I'm in trouble.
That alerts people of domestic abuse. A quick-thinking motorist recognized the signal and took action.
What the TikTok hand gesture is you tuck your thumb in and you wrap your 4 fingers around it and you release, tuck your thumb in, wrap your fingers around it and release, back and forth.
Deputy Sheriff Gilbert Achardo explained the hand signal used by the distressed teenager who was sitting beside her abductor in his vehicle.
I've always said, and I've always thought, well, I haven't always said, I've always thought this is the first time I've ever said this. The two groups of people, the terrorists and the pedophiles, they are patient, they are cunning, and they wait. Like, they wait until they learn. So you would think a pedophile would, like, Google or go on TikTok. Hell, who even knows? This pedophile might have found this girl on TikTok, and come to find out, TikTok is the thing that undone his whole plan. But if you're a pedophile, shouldn't you be, like, looking around and kind of... This guy was not on top of his game when it came to pedophilia.
We think...
Did this sheriff just say, we think, or we think? Like, is he meaning thank you, like we thank, or we think? I mean, I'm sure to an outsider's ear that I have an accent as well, too, but God damn it. Like, are we really electing sheriffs that say, we think?
We think that the suspect just thought that she was waving at individuals because she was in the front seat where he was.
An alert motorist saw the signal and called police, giving the dispatcher mile marker updates that allowed police to set up a roadblock and make the arrest.
You guys all know that I have this do not get involved motto, because guess what? I got people that depend on me. There's a lot of fathers and mothers out there. That's why I don't stop and help people change a tire or push their car if it's broke down in a lane. And I know a lot of you guys are probably going to think, "Oh, Tuddle, you're a sea-sucker, you're a pussy because you won't help out some woman broke down and help her change her." No. I know drivers in Florida. I've been broke down on the main bridge going across from Tampa to St. Pete. There's no shoulder. You know how many people, because in the state of Florida, you're supposed to get over when somebody is broke down in the emergency lane. Nobody did that. Like, I could have easily been killed as much as people text and drive. So just like if somebody was drowning out in the ocean, not helping you. Because guess what? People that are drowning, they will take you down because they are just so scared of drowning. And I know that makes me sound callous and stuff, but like, even if I knew the TikTok like signal of I'm in distress, I'm a woman, I would be like, ooh, maybe I didn't see what I saw. Maybe I'm confused. But I got to give credit to the person that called the officials and like, hey, this is what's going on. I'm going to follow them. And I can see doing that. But I'm not going to get involved. Who knows if this guy had a gun or a knife? I mean, if it would have been in the state of Florida, which I think they were heading to Tampa, I definitely would have gotten involved then. But this person was smart enough to call law enforcement officers and tell them and let them handle it, and followed this vehicle. I know that makes me. I just see, that's the thing about it. I just got it completely reversed on me. I was making fun of that sheriff for saying, "We think," and I just said vehicle.
The signal was created by the Canadian Women's Foundation in response to a surge in domestic violence. The signal becoming increasingly popular on TikTok, but not widely known.
The use of the TikTok hand signal signifying I'm in trouble, I need help, was a groundbreaking event for us and maybe nationwide.
Look, I'm not saying that this is true, but if you guys have been listening to my podcast for any amount of time, you know that I always ask questions. I'm not saying that this is the case, but with all the scrutiny that social media has been under, with Facebook, objectifying women, making them feel bad about the way they look. Same thing goes with TikTok. What if they were like, all right, we got a secret meeting. We got to get ahead of this game before they draw our attention on us and they get done with Mark Zuckerberg on Facebook and Instagram. It was like, all right, let's get a pedophile. And we have a child, a 16-year-old girl. And, we're going to be following the whole time that we're there. We're going to check it out. And we're going to make sure that the girl is safe. But we want her to give the universal sign for distress for women on TikTok. And it's going to be great press. TikTok, I know that TikTok didn't do that. But this is the best publicity that TikTok could not even buy. Like, this is the best thing that could have ever happened to the platform that's known as TikTok.
Because had she not given that signal to a motorist and had a motorist not recognized that signal, who knows where that 61-year-old man would have wound up with this 16-year-old girl.
And just as a disclaimer, I just ask questions. I know that I make a lot of inappropriate jokes and stuff, but this is actually a really, really good thing. Like, I am a victim of childhood trauma. I've gone through a lot of stuff, and I think there's no place in this country for pedophiles. Are they deserve due process and a court of law? Yes, of course. Of course they are. But, I mean, they should be up there with murderers, serial killers, all that stuff. And I really do think that the death penalty should be on the table when it comes to pedophiles abducting minors.
And that teenager is now being reunited with her family in North Carolina. A good ending to a story that could have turned out so differently.
It's really, really funny how I have to be careful about what I do or because, like, I'll give you an example, okay? Last couple of days, I've been a little down. I've been a little depressed. I really, really have. Saturday night, and I know, look, I don't want anybody to think that I am special. I know everybody is eventually going to lose a parent. Like, seriously, we all handle it in different ways. But, and I know that the Gators, the University of Florida football team, it is just a sporting event. And I agree with everybody else. I do agree that a lot of people take sports way too seriously. But you guys also have to understand, I've talked about this all the time. I would drive home from Tampa every weekend to watch the University of Florida Gators football team with my dad. It was just something we did not miss. And then Saturday night, my mom was not feeling great, and she went to bed. So I had to watch the Gators game for the first time all by myself, and they ended up getting blowed out by the Gamecocks. Yeah, I said that. Gamecocks, as in rooster. I'm not trying to, like, drop a double entendre on you or something. No, that's not the case. But it just bummed me out. And I've noticed as of late that I keep all of my bad days inside me because of me trying to physically harm myself unsuccessfully, which led to me getting fired from Bubba Show. Because I don't want anybody to think, oh, Tuddle's in a down mood. He might try to kill himself again. No, that's not the case. It's not the case at all. And the same thing goes with my sobriety. Yeah, I smoke a little bit of weed every once in a while. I had some listener or supporter comment, oh, how fucked up were you, Tuddle, the other night? I was like, no, dude. Like, seriously. I'm not saying that I'm in the greatest shape in the world, but if I was still drinking and abusing alcohol, I would not look as good as I do right now. It's crazy what a couple of years off of alcohol will do to your body, just adding color to your face, the loss of weight, gaining more muscle, having more sexual drive. It really does do that. But I didn't even want to make this next comment, but I'll admit, back in the day when I was partying and taking drugs and doing alcohol, it was fun. It was fun as hell. Even though I was self-medicating and stuff, yes, it was fun. I had a blast. I did a lot of bad stuff, but I also did a lot of great things that were very satisfying, if you get my point. But in this next story, they come out with new drugs all the time, and you don't know if they're going to be really, really bad or they're going to be the next big thing. Because in my early 20s, mid-20s, loved the ecstasy. And then it made a return in a different form in my 30s with Molly. But I haven't done that stuff in a while. And that's probably one of the biggest reasons why I've suffered from depression. Because I killed my serotonin levels from taking those drugs. But when I heard this story, I was like, man, I wish I was back in my 20s so I could try this brand new drug by the name of paint.
Yes. That's the one that I read, yeah.
Nation Karamazza can't believe what's being sold right under her nose.
And I'm thinking, how on earth are kids getting a hold of that?
You know, the funny thing is that this parent is laughing and acting like, oh, I don't know how my kid got a hold of this. Most likely this parent grew up in maybe the late 60s, early 70s, maybe even the 80s, where cocaine was big as hell in the state of Florida. But, I mean, come on. Parents, and you know who I'm talking about. I'm sure a lot of those parents are listening to this podcast right now, acting all innocent. Oh, my God, I don't know how my kids are getting these drugs. How are they getting exposed to these drugs? The same thing that happened to you, how you were able to find the drugs that you were taking when you were in school, your kids use the same exact principles to find the drugs that are in current day America.
Her student, Kipper, is a sophomore at Mesa Verde High School in Citrus Heights, where school officials sent a letter to parents warning them about students secretly selling a new street drug called paint.
All right, from a marketing standpoint, bad name. Because, look, living in the South, we got desperate. We would do crackers, and if you don't know what that is, we would inhale CO2 cartridges just to get that little buzz high in our head. And if you wanted a really, really good high, do ecstasy and hit one of those CO2 cartridges. Yes, I know it killed a lot of brain cells. I've done that physically and with drugs. Because all the dumbass stunts and stuff on top of all the drugs I did, yeah, I know that I should be way smarter and have way more brain cells. But it is a bad name because people in the South have been huffing paint for decades.
A pill with psychedelic effects known to be highly addictive.
Isn't everything addictive? Not just drugs, just anything that gives you a stimulation. I mean, it could all be considered addictive. Our phones, my phone gives me a weekly report, and I probably should just get rid of my screen time statistics, but no, it is just a little bit of a reminder of, hey, maybe you should diversify. Maybe you should start working on some other things, because it really, really is sad when I do look at that update every Sunday, seeing at noon, every Sunday, seeing how much screen time that I've used. Now, you also got to understand, I do my podcast on my phone. I don't use a laptop. So, of course, my stats are going to be a little bit higher, but it is really, really embarrassing if I'm going to admit it.
That these things can be really dangerous because you don't really know what's in them.
So no one's tried to sell it to you?
Nobody's tried to sell it to me, but I've had friends say that people are trying to sell it to them, and it's scary.
What a nerd. What a narc. Seriously, I look, I know, I didn't do drugs in high school. The only drug that I did was marijuana. I smoked weed when I was in high school, but nothing harder than that. Yeah, I did maybe underage drink at high school parties and stuff, but the last thing you want to do is be that nerdy-ass kid that's just talking about, oh, how bad it is, and the way that you say. I know I should not be judging this person. I know that this kid is being responsible, but I also think that kids live a sheltered life. Once they get out of their parents' house and stuff, they go wild. That's why I'm glad that I'm never going to be a parent. Maybe one day, by chance. I know that guys can have kids at an older age, but I would be afraid that I would shelter my kids too much. There is a fine balance when it comes to letting your kids figure it out and then staying on top of them. I would like to hear from you guys as parents. 407-270-3044, or you can leave me an email, tuddle@gmail.com. That's Tuddle with 2 Ds, TUDDLE @gmail.com.
Because I'm like, what if someone tries to sell this to me and things go haywire because I say no?
This absolutely has to be the nerdiest, preppiest, whitest high school. That's not how it works. Drug dealers are not putting a gun to your head and saying, oh, would you like some paint? Oh, break yourself, bitch. You better buy this paint, because if you ain't buying this paint, I'm going to cap your ass, ho. No, that's not how it works. They're just going to be like, okay, cool. Thank you. Because if you want me to be honest, a lot of these Fortune 500 companies, you will get better customer service if you're a consistent buyer and you throw a little bit extra on top. You will get the best, most dependable service from a drug dealer that will supersede anything that even like a Chick-fil-A could give you.
I feel that we don't have any control over our youth. They're just out of control.
Jamila Wren has a sophomore at the school.
You have to pray over your children. You have to pray. And you have to teach your children that.
What is praying going to do? I know that I'm about to get off on a little bit of a tangent, but if you believe in God, you believe in the gospel, God is controlling over everything. God gave men free will, correct? Gave men free will to study how to make drugs, how to make money, and make a profit. Survival of the fittest. I mean, isn't that what goes on in wildlife every single day? So what is praying going to do? Like, if God was so great, guess what? He wouldn't have given us free will. He wouldn't have made evil people. He wouldn't have made it available because everything that is made or the ingredients into making a drug is all provided by us in God if you believe in religion. I'm just saying.
That's not appropriate.
Do you talk to your children about it?
Oh, yeah, we talk about drugs.
I mean, I don't take it, so if I do a drug test, I'll be fine.
Would you tell your friends not to?
Yeah, that's some hard stuff.
Well, it said that it was a psychedelic, that it had psychedelic effects.
Why? Okay, see, this is why I hate broadcasting news. Like, please, you guys back in the day would do promos saying, oh, tune in at 5. We're going to show you where you can find the ingredients to make an explosive device. Tell me what the difference is. Like, there's been psychedelics for years. So, what is the difference between paint and acid or mushrooms or DMT? What are any of the psychedelics? I want to know. Because now what you're doing as a news outlet, if I was a teenager, guess what? Now you've piqued my interest. Now I want to find out what this new drug paint is about, because you're not telling me what the difference in paint between mushrooms, acid, DMT, any of those psychedelics that are out on the market at the moment.
And so actually we looked it up online together.
That's what school officials want. Conversation with your kids. The drug said to sell for only $5 a pill.
Damn. With all the inflation and the shrinkflation and all that good stuff, all these buzzwords that they're using now in the economy, $5 seems like a damn deal to me. I mean, I'm sure if it gains a lot of popularity, the price is going to go up. So what I'm saying is, stock up while it's cheap.
Parents are urged to teach their kids the dangers of street drugs.
That's really scary. And it's especially scary to think that somebody, I mean, almost like went out of their way to introduce it to this smaller school.
I really love how a lot of these parents all act innocent. Like, oh my God, I can't believe that they're introducing this drug into our school. Drugs have been around when you went to school. Your parents went to school. This isn't all new. Like, if you guys were just open, the great thing about my parents told me everything that they did. Like, sexually, not in detail. I don't want you to think that. But my parents admitted they were both married when they met each other. They've both talked about what drugs and substances that they've done. When I used to watch, my mom would buy tickets for us to go see R-rated movies. You know what, my mom, when she picked us up, she already knew about what the movie was about. She would discuss it and tell us, that's not right. You can't do that. Parents are not open like they used to be. And I'm not even a parent. I'm just telling you what I experienced with my mom and dad.
Yeah, it's definitely a concern. Now, the drug is described online as a clear pill capsule with a red-brown dust.
I really do think that is why ecstasy was so popular, because they would put like little stamps on them, not like plastic stamps, but they would imprint them. You'll get a Transformer or a Mercedes-Benz logo or a heart, double-stack Transformers if you were lucky. Yeah, it's all about the marketing when it comes to drugs.
School administrators out here say they are making progress in their investigation, but they are asking any students to come forward with information to help them.
So the last story I'm going to get into, and I find this really, really humorous, because I don't know. Like, I really do think teachers go through a hard time. I talked about this before. We got a big problem here in the state of Florida when it comes to funding and just having to deal with kids that are nothing but little assholes. Yeah, you know what? As the older I've gotten, when I was younger in my teens, early 20s, if I would have been talking like this, I'd have been like, yep, I'm kicking my own ass. But, I mean, these teachers, they're underpaid. They're having to spend their own money for school supplies, dealing with dickhead kids. And I really don't care what they're doing on their private time, as long as it's not like sexually relationships with students or committing crimes and stuff like that, like really, really bad crimes. But this next story is about a principal that had a neighbor feud. I think she tried to run over somebody that was walking their dog, allegedly. I mean, who knows? There's always two sides of the story. But what I also think is humorous, she threw feces at this said neighbor's house.
Kim Ray Sheehan is now out of jail but facing 2 charges of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon involving an incident with her neighbor. This coming after court records show she and her neighbor have gotten into it before.
Look, I'll admit it. Not a lot of people admit it, but we have all at one point in our lives had a dispute with somebody in the neighborhood or somebody that lived near you that maybe they didn't like how your yard was cut. I despise HOAs, homeowners associations. It just, I don't feel like, well, I mean, you kind of know what you're getting into, but I also think it's BS that, like, if you're paying all this money in HOA fees and stuff, and they're going to tell you how high you can have your lawn cut. I mean, I understand there's a point where it gets too long, or maybe you leave your trash cans out long enough, or you're going to tell me what color I can paint my house or not. And every neighborhood, see, I didn't grow up in a neighborhood. The first time I had to deal with neighbors is when my parents moved over here to the Hobo Fish Camp. Because, like I said, our closest neighbor when growing up in DeLeon Springs was about 4 miles away. So we really didn't have to, like, deal with any of that stuff. We could just do whatever the hell we wanted to with our 20 to 30 acres. I don't exactly remember how much we had. I know it was no less than 20, but I know it wasn't more than 30.
It's not something I would have expected, especially from this neighborhood just moving here.
Neighbors are reacting to the Monday arrest of Hunters Creek Elementary School principal Kim Ray Sheehan. The area superintendent sent this message to parents.
While I am not able to discuss employee matters, I can tell you the arrest was personal in nature and was not related to anything that occurred at our school or with any of our students.
I love how the superintendent is covering his ass. Oh, hey, this didn't happen on school grounds. Like, seriously, it could have been a misunderstanding. Like I said, there are two sides to every story. Maybe this principal wasn't paying attention. Maybe she was texting while driving, which I know is against the law, but are we willing to get rid of any of our teachers, the people that are in charge of educating our students, our children? No. Like I said, this guy could be lying because these disputes get ugly as hell. I mean, the Hatfield and McCoys, one of the biggest family feuds in the United States history. It was all over, I think, a stolen pig or something. And this guy just could have had it out for this woman. Maybe he didn't like the way her house was painted and stuff. And are we willing, like I said, are we willing to, we're already short-handed when it comes to educators in the state. Are we willing to just throw one out into the garbage just because this guy says, oh, yeah, she tried to run over me while I was walking my dog?
This incident report shows Sheehan is accused of speeding a gray BMW toward her neighbor, David Gordon, and his dog trainer back in July.
There you go. There you go. This guy is probably so rich, so, like, sticking his nose up at the underclass or the people that maybe don't have the nicest houses. Because did you hear that key word? his dog trainer, which tells me this is an elitist, somebody that, oh, she's a teacher. Oh, I don't like that she leaves her garbage cans out. Oh, she was speeding towards my dog trainer. Dude, you weren't even walking your goddamn dog in the first place.
While flicking them off here on Heart Branch Circle.
I don't see a crime flicking them off. I think that's protected by the freedom of expression, freedom of speech. You know, I'm just saying. Well, I don't see any crime committed so far. I mean, unless you can prove intent that she was maliciously trying to run over your probably $200 an hour dog trainer. Yeah, no. I mean, this is all secondhand information. I don't think they have video evidence. I mean, I know that everybody has a Ring doorbell now, but like I said, this is just like, could be a feud. Everybody is just cutthroat and say, well, and will say whatever they have to say to put this bitch in the dirt.
That neighbor's attorney sent News 6 this picture of the dog Gordon was walking.
Once again, another case of local news. What difference does it matter what type of dog it is? A dog is a dog. I don't understand why, what difference it matters. Like, it could have been a German Shepherd, could have been a Great Dane, could have been a Rottweiler, could have been a Pit Bull, could have been a Chihuahua. Doesn't matter what dog it was. I mean, if it was a toy like Chihuahua or a Poodle or something, does that garner you sympathy? No, I don't think so. A dog is a dog.
His attorney told News 6 in a statement, quote, "Unfortunately, this is not the first time Mr. Gordon has been the victim of a crime at the hands of Miss Sheehan. Mr. Gordon is looking forward to justice being served and an end to Miss Sheehan's violent and escalating behavior towards him and the otherwise peaceful neighborhood of Lakehart," end quote.
The more and more that I hear this story, I'm really, really starting to believe that this is the upper elite trying to push out white trash out of their neighborhood. You guys have got to read between the lines and hear what's being reported, because it's just ridiculous at most that this is a news story. And I know that I'm just as guilty for talking about it. But I'm also trying to show you guys that local news sometimes is just absolute garbage.
News 6 has learned, according to court records, that in October of 2019, Gordon claimed Sheehan trespassed his property and allegedly threw feces at his house.
All right. Okay. I mean, that does sound bad. It really, really does. Is there video evidence? And let's be honest. How many students, I know that we did, we used to do the stereotypical poop in a flaming bag, a paper bag, and put it on somebody's front porch. We all did it. Even though it was immature, stupid as hell, we would do it. At least she didn't, like, create a fire hazard. She just threw straight feces. And let me ask you, why isn't the reporter? Was it her own feces? Did you guys get DNA? Or was it, like, feces from this dog that's being walked by the trainer, and he just feels like he's too elite to pick up dog poop? It even happens here at the Hobo Fish Camp. People do not pick up their dog crap on a consistent basis.
As part of Sheehan's pretrial diversion, she apologized for the incident in this May 2021 letter to the court, saying in part, quote, "I regret having stepped foot onto your property. It will not happen again," end quote.
To go to those lengths, that's ridiculous.
Orange County Public Schools saying Sheehan remains on leave pending an internal investigation. Meantime, the listed attorney for Sheehan told me he had no comment.
All right, guys, before I leave, I just want to apologize for not doing the live streams on a consistent basis. Last night, I had all plans in the world of doing a live stream, but I had to take my mom to doctor's appointments today. I had to do some home improvements. If you guys had seen the picture of how bad the water is around here, We have a bathtub / shower in the fifth wheel, and the little faucet part that fills up the bathtub. If you want to take a bath, no way in hell would I ever bathe in this type of water. Hell, I even hate taking a shower. I use that Sea Breeze or the face cleaning stuff. I go over my whole body with that stuff after I get done taking a shower just to get that dirty water off. But that little faucet part ended up rusting off, and it's one of those little faucets where you pull up the little knob on top of it to be able to get the shower running. I got all the parts and stuff that I needed, and I even got like a little scrub brush to cut, because I thought the rust buildup, I might be able to get that rust off and get down to the threads. Well, it was so bad, the threads actually rusted off as well too. So I wasn't able to get that done. It was frustrating as hell. And I was sick last week. I'm not trying to make excuses, but I promise you tonight at 8 is going to be the beginning of a streak of doing it every weeknight starting at 8 on my YouTube channel. All you need to do is go to my YouTube channel, subscribe. It's youtube.com/Tuddle. Hit the subscription button as well as that bell button so you're alerted anytime I go live or upload any brand new content. Anyways, guys, I'm getting out of here. Hope you guys enjoyed today's show. Hope you guys stay safe, and I will talk to you tomorrow.
And that's the show for today. Thanks for listening to the Tuddle Daily Podcast. Hey, don't be a dickhead. Do us a favor. Like, share, and subscribe to the show. Also, check out the Tuddle category at 315live.com. The Tuddle Daily Podcast is brought to you by Starfire Transport, StitchYouUp.com, and PocketPairClub.com. Special thanks to show producer Vulture and co-host Sirach. Show voiceover service is brought to you by JCVoiceover.com and The Little Cheese Show. Download and subscribe to The Little Cheese Show everywhere podcasts are found. If you want to help support the show, go to paypal.me/TuddleOnTheRadio. You have something you want to say? Tuddle@gmail.com or leave a voicemail at 407-270-3044. To follow all Tuddle social media, go to Tuddle.net. That's Tuddle with 2Ds.net. Thanks again for all your support, and we'll see you tomorrow on the Tuddle Daily Podcast.
I get ignorant in normal situations.
What you mean?
What the fuck you mean?
What are you talking about?
Nigga, what the fuck is you talking about?
Oh, shit!